Okay, let me slowly start the session. All right. So today we all here for like to know what exactly is the Power BI course and how many days it will take for you to finish the course and what you will be learning and how it will help you to set your career in data analytics path. Right. So we'll try to understand what is the core concept behind Power BI and what exactly is about Power BI. All right. So before that, let's see one interesting image. Let me start the slideshow. All right, guys. So this is all about Power BI, like where you will be having the business data in the table form, and this table form will be converted into this graphical representation. The reason why we convert the table form data into graphical representation is it will be easy for any human being to understand what exactly happening with the data. Correct. Let's say you have like 2000 rows, or like you have some millions of rows in table. Would you be able to manually identify like which particular region has highest sales or which particular product has highest sales? It is impossible, right? But then if you do the same thing in the graphical representation, it will be pretty easy for us to understand which country is doing the highest sales or which city is doing the highest sales, or I can understand whatever I want to. Correct? Following, guys?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right? So that is the reason why there is a tool called as Microsoft Power BI. All right. Now let's understand how we can convert that table data form into a graphical representation and what we need to learn to convert those data into graphical representation. So we need a business intelligence. So business intelligence comprises the strategies and technologies used by the enterprises for the data analysis of business information. So all you need to remember is this business information is nothing but business data, the tables of data. All right. So business intelligence contains some strategies and technologies, right? So strategy is something like you will figure out you will figure it out how to maintain your data and what exactly are the things needed to store the data and all, like that is one of the strategy to make the things easier. And technologies were nothing but Power BI, Tableau, ADF, or whatever it is. Like you'll involve different technologies to achieve this business intelligence, and this business intelligence is used by the enterprises for the data analysis of business information. So with the help of these strategies and technologies, organizations use it for the data analysis of business data, right? So BI technologies provide historical, current, and predictive views of business operations. So when I talk about historical, current, and predictive, so historical means things whatever happened till yesterday from the day one of a business. Current means the happening day, like which is today. Predictive means that which gonna happen in future, like it could be in the next day or next week or next month, like that. So we predict based on the historical things. For example, I'll give you a small example here. Let's say you're running a supermarket store, and in supermarket store, like you found that okay, on weekends or probably on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, there was a huge sale for vegetables, right? So you got to understand, like okay, fine, like just by seeing your data, you find out like on weekends there is a huge sale for vegetables, and you came to know that few customers was returning back just because of out of stock. So for that, what you will do, you will ensure that on Friday and Saturday you want to maintain some more store or more stock for vegetables. So that is nothing but the prediction. All right. So based on your historical things, you'll predict your current and predictive views. Clear? Any questions on this? Right. And now the same thing I was displayed in this format. So business data plus report analysis. So you take the business data and you do the report analysis is called as business intelligence. So it seems like Yeah, we have a new guy. Hello, Vikram. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Okay. Vikram, we just started, like it's like 2 minutes. We were trying to understand what exactly is the business intelligence, Vikram. So for you, I'll just brief it out. So business intelligence comprises the strategies and technologies used by enterprises for the data analysis of business information. So business intelligence is a part of the a strategy, like a plan. Its strategy could be a plan and some tools used by the organizations for the data analysis of business data. Like business information is nothing but like business data, right? So, and these technologies, these tools will provide historical, current and predictive views of business operations. So based on like things happened till yesterday and things happening today, we would be able to predict the tomorrow's business, or we would be able to predict the next week's or next month's or next year's business. So depending on the historical and current views, right?
Okay.
So let's see the architecture, like what exactly the architecture will be designed in any organization. I'll be walking you through the basic architecture. All right, so that is the blueprint which is followed by each and every organization. All right, so now let me open my page. All right, so now let's say, yeah, this is my database. Okay. This is my database, and I'm running some so and so some XYZ business. Okay, and I've opened my store. Customers were walking in, they are making the purchases, and I'm generating some data, right? So whenever you walk to any store, like it could be a DMart or it could be any mall, like they'll ask for your name, your mobile number, and they'll do the transaction, they'll enter the data and they'll give you the bill, right? So in the same way, like I have opened my store and transactions were generating, and those transactions of data will be stored in this particular database. All right, and that data will be stored in raw format. So the data will be in raw format. Initially, the data gets stored in a raw format. Example for the raw format is just an example, guys. Something like this. So would you be able to understand what exactly this data about? You might understand the time, but would you be able to understand these kind of things, the rest of the things?
No, sir.
So the raw data will be in this format. So you would not be able to understand what exactly these things about, and this particular format is not useful for any data analysis. You cannot analyze anything with this particular format of data, correct? So to do that, like to change this raw format, we actually use a particular tools called as ETL. All right, so let me draw a line here. Yeah, so the raw format will be moved to the ETL phase. Okay, so now we'll try to understand what is meant by this ETL. So E means extract. So we will extract the raw data from this database to the ETL tool. Okay, and we will transform the raw data into table format of data, because tables will be helpful for us to do the analysis. So that's why we transform this raw data into table format. All right, and then once the transformations is done, then we will load the data into a different database, all right, which is used for the data analysis. Okay, so this phase is called as the ETL phase, and this particular phase is called as the OLTP. OLTP means online transactional processing. Let me enlarge it. Yeah. So this phase is called as OLTP, which means that online transactional processing, because the transaction data will become will be stored in this particular phase. All right. And now once the ETL is done, like in ETL, we extract the raw data and we transform the raw data into tables, and then we will load the data into another database. Let me draw it. Right. So we will load these tables into data warehouse. We will load these tables into data warehouse, right? So now let's try to understand what were the tools which are available in the market to do this ETL process. So before that, we'll try to understand one simple concept, which is on premises and cloud. Okay, so on premises is nothing but the server will be located in the client location, right? So the real-time example for on-premises is like if you want to work on any tool, like let's say for example, I'll be taking this MS Paint application. So MS Paint application I have installed in my computer, right? This application is stored in my hard disk, correct? Following, guys?
Yes, sir.
Right? So this MS Paint is stored, it got installed in my local machine, in my local computer, and it is stored in my hard disk. And now this is my on-premises tool. Okay, the same paint so now the same paint I have an option here, and now this is a cloud, like I have just logged in or I have just using with just based on a URL. I did not install anything in my computer. It's just an URL, and I'll be able to use the paint option here, correct?
Understood, sir.
Right, so which means that this is the cloud. On premises means you'll be installing in your computer. Cloud means it will be installed somewhere else in the cloud or in any online server, and you will be logging in with the help of the URL, and you will do your work. That's the difference between on premises and cloud. Okay, anybody has any questions about on premises and cloud? Satish, Sai?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Can you repeat it once?
No, sir.
Understood difference between on premises and cloud?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right? So Sai, I'll answer for your question now, like what is difference between ADF and Power BI, all these things. Okay, so
Okay, sir.
for the on-premises to do this ETL, we have few technologies in on-premises. Those technologies names were Informatica. I think you have heard about this name, right? Anybody heard about this name, Informatica?
Yes, sir.
Right, so Informatica is one of the on-premises ETL tool which is used to extract the raw data and transform the data into table format and load the data into data warehouse. And also we have SSIS, which is SQL Server integration services, right? And also we have Amnesia, right? So we have multiple tools available in the market to do this ETL, which are on-premises tools, and out of those, Informatica and SSIS is one of the leading tools in the market, which are on-premises. These are on-premises tools. We have the same thing for the cloud. So for the cloud, we have Azure Data Factory, which is ADF, and we have Snowflake computing. So these two are one of the leading technologies in the market for the cloud ETL. Understood?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So Sai, did you understood now like what is meant by EDF? Sai?
Yes, sir.
So did you understood now like what is ADF is used for?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right? So
Right.
now once we're done with the transformations, we load the data into data warehouse, and now this phase is called as OLAP. OLAP means online analytical processing, where this particular phase of data is used for the analysis purpose. All right. So here the data will be stored in the form of dimension tables and in the form of factorial tables, and these tables will be organized or will be stored in the form of schemas, right? So we have different schemas. We have star schema, snowflake schema, galaxy schema, factless schema. There were different schemas available. So depending on the tables we have, we will choose the schema, and in that schema these dimension tables and factorial tables will be stored, guys. Okay, and now our Power BI will come into picture. Our Power BI will come into picture. So now what happens here means you will connect to this data warehouse and you will fetch these dimension tables and these factorial tables into Power BI, and then you'll start the reporting process. This is what exactly happens in any organization when you're working on analytics side. It's simple, like you'll the ETL developer, the ETL developer will take the raw data from the database and they'll convert those data into tables format, and then it will be stored in the schema format in the data warehouse. And the BI developer will fetch these dimension tables and factorial tables, and he will do the reporting, and he will use it to he will share it to the client or to the user who wants to use that report. Anybody has any questions still here?
No, sir.
Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, Yes, sir. sir. Yes.
All right. So there is one important topic here. In Power BI, let's say for example, Sai has developed one report and he delivered it to the client yesterday. Okay. And today, the client business was opened again and new transactions were happened, and there is a new data in the ETL and there is a new rows in the data warehouse, right? So those new data has to reflect in the Power BI report, correct? So Sai cannot come and develop one new report every day, and client also will not take it like one new report every day. Understanding? So whatever the new data comes in on daily basis, so that new data has to be updated to the developed Power BI report. So for that, we have a concept called as data refresh. All right. So we do the data refresh. So we will establish a connection with our Power BI report to this data warehouse. All right. And automatically, if there is any particular new data available in the data warehouse, I'm sorry, available in the data warehouse, automatically the refresh will happen to the existing Power BI report. Now, let's say, for example, my operations will be from 9 o'clock to evening 5 o'clock. I'll shut down my business by evening 5 o'clock. All right. And for the ETL team, it will take 1 hour for them to process all this, the raw data into the tables format. All right. So by 6, the ETL is done, and by 6:30 the new data will be available in the data warehouse. So I will schedule a refresh at 6:30 p.m. So automatically at 6:30 the Power BI reports will look for the new data if there is any new data available in the data warehouse, in the dimension tables and factorial tables. Data that will be updated in the report. Sorry, somebody is asking something.
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir.
Oh. So understood the data refresh concept,
Yes, sir.
right?
Uh,
So this is the architecture. So we'll be having OLTP phase, we'll do the ETL, and we will load the data into OLAP, and then we will load the data into Power BI tools for the report development, and we'll do the data refresh.
Okay. Okay,
Clear,
sir.
guys? So now,
Yes, sir. Yes.
the reason why we introduced both Power BI and ADF, because see, like it varies from companies to companies. Few companies will hire people who has knowledge on both ETL and BI. Few companies will hire only for people who has knowledge only on BI. It depends on the requirement, right? So even you'll be having calls for, even you'll be having positions for only for Power BI, or else like you'll be having positions for both Power BI and any ETL tool. All right. So even in ETL, like they will ask, like, do you have any knowledge or do you have any kind of exposure to the ETL concepts? They will not ask for this particular tool. They'll ask for the concepts, right? So
Okay.
this course is majorly developed for a Power BI developer, where majorly I'll be concentrating on Power BI and minorly I'll be concentrating on ETL. But it doesn't mean that like you'll be learning only basics in ETL. No, you'll be learning advanced concepts as well. But then your major concentration should be on Power BI. Got it? And apart from this ETL and Power BI, I'll be teaching you the data warehouse concepts as well. So about these dimension tables, factorial tables, schemas and all. And also I'll be teaching you the SQL, which is required for Power BI. Okay. Any questions? Hello? I think some audio problem. Hello?
Yeah, sir. Hello.
Yeah. So any questions till now?
No, sir.
All right. So we'll understand why Power BI is the, is a leading thing or leading tool in the market right now. The reason why is like it is from Microsoft by default. So since it is from Microsoft, majority of the companies will choose the tools from tools and technologies from Microsoft, right? And also it supports all the data sources. So whatever the data sources available in the market right now, we would be able to establish a connection with all those data sources, and we can fetch the data and we can start the report development. That is one of the advantage. Rich visualization. So Power BI by default has some 32 visuals. Apart from those visuals, we have an option for custom visuals as well. Like we can go to the app store and we can download some custom visuals. And we have a monthly updates. Every month, Power BI will release an update on the tool every month, literally. And also, like once the session starts, I'll share you one link, or else like you can go to Google and type in like Power BI updates. You can open the first link, which is Power BI blog. When you can scroll down, you can see articles by date, right? So from for each and every month, you'll be able to see the updates, like what the updates happened since from the beginning, from July 2013. You'll be able to see all these things, right? So every month it will release an update, and there is a method where you can update your existing application, and that will be taught to you like once you move into sessions. And there's a large community usage. There is a community for Power BI. Like if you have any questions, you can just go and post there, and experts will answer for you. community, right? This is the Power BI community. I think it's loading. So this is the Power BI community. You can post any question, or else like majority of your questions will be there, like will be answered here itself. And then friendly user interface. So the tool looks like which is very familiar to you, like I think you're familiar on Microsoft Excel, familiar on MS Word, MS PowerPoint. Even the tool looks like same. In Power BI the tool looks like same. The user interface will be very understandable to even to a common man, not only to developer. So even a common man would be able to understand the user interface. So it has a very good friendly user interface, and that's why Power BI has, it got the trendsetter in the market right now. All right. Now let's understand the Power BI architecture. Like till now we saw the organizational architecture. Now let's understand how the things work in Power BI, only in Power BI. Okay. So in Power BI architecture, okay. Yeah. So in Power BI architecture, what we will do? So first step, we will connect to the data sources, and we will fetch, or we will get the dimension tables and the factorial tables into Power BI, right? So once the data is loaded into Power BI, then we will load the data into query editor. In query editor, we will do the data transformations if it is required. If it is not required, then we will directly move on to the Power BI desktop for the visuals development, for the reporting. We can develop the scorecards, reports, KPIs and all, right? So this query editor is used for the data transformation, which is similar to the ETL tool. Like it is not like we technically it's not an ETL tool, but you can work on the tables, like you can remove the unwanted columns, you can join two tables, right? So there are many things where you can do in query editor. Depending on your requirement, you will do the data transformations. You will shape your data into your required format in query editor, and then you will move to the Power BI desktop. In desktop, you'll be doing the report development. So once the report development is done, then you will publish that report into Power BI service, because you need to share it to your client, right? So client will be logging into Power BI service, and he will be viewing, or he will be consuming that report, whatever you have developed. Understood, guys? So out of these things, Power BI desktop is the on-premises. Power BI service is the web URL login. You will log into the link with the help of login credentials, and then you'll be able to see those reports. But Power BI desktop, like you have to install in your computer, and you need to do the report development. And this Power BI desktop is free to download. It's absolutely free of cost. There is nothing for you to pay to download and work on this Power BI desktop. But then to share into Power BI service, there should be a purchased login, and like we will be providing you those logins. There is no need for you to purchase any logins. I'll be providing you like once you join the course. All right. So with the help of that login, you can log into your Power BI service, and you can start sharing the reports, whatever you have developed. Any questions, guys?
No, sir. No, sir.
Sorry. See, you can see this diagram, like it will be easy understandable for you. So these are the data sources. This is the Power BI desktop where we will develop the reports. We'll publish it into Power BI service, which is an online software as a service. And then these reports can be shared to browser or any mobile applications, tablet applications, or any other third-party things. Anything would be done from Power BI service. So your major job will be here as a BI developer. Your major job will be in Power BI desktop, right? So this is how you do it. So first, initially, you'll discover your data. Discover your data means like you'll establish a connection with any of the sources available. So this is a screenshot from the Power BI tool. So you'll discover the data, like you'll connect to the server, or you'll connect to the data source, and you will like import those tables, dimension tables and factorial tables, and then you will analyze. This is the data model. What you do, these are all the tables, the dimension tables and factorial tables, and this is also a screenshot from Power BI tool. You will do the data model, and then you will visualize like this. This is the way how we will form the reports. And then once you form the reports, this is the dashboard where the user will be seeing this dashboard. So the user will be exploring things like what exactly is happening with his business. So this is the step what you will be doing. So your major job will be on discovering, analyze, and visualize, right? And we have the few components in Power BI. We have Power Query Editor, we have Power BI Desktop, we have Power BI Service. Like till now we saw these things, right? Power Query Editor is used for data transformation. Power BI Desktop is used for report development. Power BI Service is used to share the developed reports. And there are few other things which is Power Map, Power Apps, Power BI Report Server. We'll be discussing about these things once we move on to the further sessions. And this is the content, and I believe like the content will be shared to you as well. So these are the things where you will be learning throughout this course. And like I have covered all the topics available in Power BI. There is like there is no topic which was left in Power BI. I have covered almost all the topics in this entire content. And like you'll be shared, or else like you can go to the Visualpath website and you'll be able to see the content. And then these are the sample dashboards. Like this is how the dashboards will look like, guys. These are the, like, now you're going to develop these kind of reports. This is something like which is developed by few of our old students. Like when I used to give the tasks, like they used to develop these kind of things. And even you will be given with the tasks, you have to fulfill all the tasks on daily basis. If you're not doing the task, like you will not be on track. And the learning method, it will be a 45 hours of intensive training. Like to finish the Power BI course, we take 40 to 45 hours depending on the way how we are learning the things. If you're learning slowly, we'll take some more time. If you're grasping things quickly, we will like we'll finish it as soon as possible. And you'll be given like daily assignments. So depending on the topics, I might give you the assignments like once in a day or twice, like twice, like for every 2 days or for every 3 days, depending on the topics we are learning, right? And also I'll be introducing you the real world concepts. Like I'll be teaching the real time means like it's an exact real time, like how the things work in an office. Like once you join as an employee on Power BI developer, so what are the things you need to learn. Like I'll be teaching you all those things. Not like real time means like something like in different institutes, like they say real time means like these are the things, this is the data, do this, do that. No, not like that. I'll be teaching the real time, your daily roles and responsibilities, how they will be like, how the reports will be developed, what are the methodologies we follow. All those things will be covered for you, right? And then we have gathering prerequisites. Like before starting the course, like once you're ready to join for the course, I'll be giving you some tasks that which is for your that will be helpful for you throughout the entire the course. And I'll be giving your resume. Once your course is done, once you're ready for interview, I'll prepare your resume, and I will guide you, like how to post in Naukri as well. And we have a skill enhancement, which is nothing but like ADF. After learning Power BI, if you want to learn ADF, you can learn ADF, or else I can guide you what are the technologies like you can learn in future to like that which helps for your career growth. Right, let me show you Power BI. So this is how the tool looks like, guys. This is how it will look like. From get data, we'll fetch the data. For example, now let's say, for example, I'm connecting to my SQL server. I'm taking some. You see here, like we have table names like dim account, dim currency, dim customer, dim date, dim department group. These are nothing but dimension tables. And can you see the few names were like fact call center, fact currency rate, fact finance, fact internet sales. So these are the factorial tables. I'm loading
Okay,
those
sir.
two tables. Will take a minute time to load the data. So right, we have this dimension table and factorial table here. We'll take some report like this. We'll take some graph like this. And then we will choose the columns. Like we will drag like this. We'll choose the sales amount. Drag like this. And now you'll be able to understand some female has highest sales and which is 14.813, and male has lowest sales which is 14.545. So this is the report development what you do in Power BI. Any questions, guys?
No, sir. No, sir. It's clear.
How about you, Vikram? Any questions
No, sir. No, sir.
about the training part or anything?
Like there are two types of Power BI. No, one is for commercial purpose and second one is for educational purpose. On which we will be learning those?
No, there are no two types of Power BI. It's not commercial purpose and it's not for education purpose. I have told you, right, while doing architecture.
Ah,
To show you. So Power BI Desktop, like which is this thing? Power BI Desktop is completely free of cost. It is like, it is free for you to download and to work on this. And this Power BI Desktop is used for these report, like, this kind of report development. So once you
as
develop these reports, you need to share it to your client, because the client has to see the report, whatever you have developed, right?
okay, sir.
So for that, you will share it to PowerBI Service, which is where you need to purchase the login.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Power
so
BI
those
is for
logins
the.
I will share to you.
Okay, sir. Understood.
There is no need for you to purchase the logins for PowerBI Service. I'll share the login for you. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions, guys?
Like, what will be the fee structure and the timing of the
Fee
classes?
structure, like you talk to the management. Like I am not the right person to talk about the financials. You have any questions
Okay.
regarding the course, I'm ready to answer for you.
It coming to
Uh,
course like it's online, offline class only for online.
No, we have both online and offline as well.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. If you're comfortable offline,
what,
we can go with offline.
yeah,
Okay.
and what will be what you will cover in the ADF?
In ADF, like I'll be covering you like how we like how we take the table, like data from the source table, and how we transform, and how we create the packages and containers, and how we how we load the data into the target, all those things.
Okay, sir.
So
And
ADF will
also
take
covered
like
in SQL, right, sir?
sorry, Satish.
SQL also covered in this topic.
Yeah, in this course, like SQL will be taught to you, which is necessary for Power BI.
Okay, okay.
You are not going as a SQL developer to learn the entire SQL concepts. You are going as a business intelligence developer.
Okay,
Yes,
okay.
sir.
Any other questions?
No, sir.
No, sir. No,
So
sir.
is everything clear for you? Understood like what is
Yes,
Power
sir.
BI and what we do in Power BI?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
All right. So I believe like from next week, like we'll start the sessions. If you guys were joining on Monday, I'll be teaching you, like I'll be giving you a task, which is very very important, and you have to do the task. And if you want to survive, just do follow my instructions. I'll guide you in a right manner how to learn the concepts pretty easily, and how like how you should survive in the market when you enter as a BA developer. Because
Okay,
you
sir.
already know learning course is one phase, getting job is another phase, and surviving in the job is the toughest phase.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
So just follow my tips and techniques. I'll make it easy for you how to survive.
Okay, sir. Okay,
We,
sir.
Okay.
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 Yeah. And like apart from this, like I'll be sharing you the necessary materials for each and everything.
Okay.
And also I
Okay.
have prepared some questions, like some frequently asked questions, a bunch of 100 questions. So in interview, like if you're asked like 10 questions, out of those 10 questions, minimum 5 or 6 questions will be from the document I have given.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay, I'll be sharing with the document as well.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Sir, one thing I want to ask
Mhm.
is, if I do after completing your course, if I do the certification, Microsoft certification, will it be helpful?
No, I'll tell you, like you're talking about the DA100 certification, right?
In under certification.
No, like you will not be able to like clear that examination as just by learning the course. And I'll tell
Yes.
you some important thing. Certification will be your added advantage. It will just like some cosmetic
Okay.
powder for you, right? So though you have a certification, and if you're not able to answer few things, like if you keep yourself as a certified Power BI developer, the resume,
Hmm.
so your questions will be in very in depth, which will be into real time scenarios, not from the course scenarios.
Yeah. Yes. Understood.
Understood?
Understood.
Right? If you are not able to answer for those questions, they'll be like, how you got certified in Microsoft Power BI as a DA100?
Yes. That
Like
will be
you
another
don't have
problem.
knowledge. Yeah. So what I suggest is, like, after working for 1 year or 2 years, then you'll understand what exactly it is. Then you can do that.
Ah, yes, sir. Okay. Okay, sir.
It is just like
So,
certification is like a makeup.
so we need to work on the actual scenarios to clear the examinations.
Sorry, come again.
We need to work on the actual scenarios to clear those examinations, or we need to
Correct. Like
we need a,
you need to get exposed to a lot many things in Power BI. It's just not like you learn the course and you write the examination. No, it will not work.
no it okay, okay, sir.
It is next level. The examination will be the next level. And don't worry, like once you join the company, sometimes like even companies offer you a free certification.
Yes, sir, I know.
Yeah, why you want to pay for that?
Okay.
So as of now, certification is a bad idea, become.
Yes, sir, I understand.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions?
No, sir.
No,
All
sir,
right.
no.
So can I close the meeting?
Yes,
Yes,
sir,
sir.
yes.
And Vikram, like
And thanks, sir.
Vikram, can you share your details in the chat box?
One second. Done, sir.
So like I need your mobile number and your email address. Like do it in a group, not like privately. Thank you, Satish.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Done, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Vikram. Just call
Okay.
the management like if you have any questions regarding the fee structure and all. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
okay,
sir. No
sir.
problem.
Okay.
And thanks a
Thank
lot, sir,
you.
once again. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Satish. Hope like you'll be joining the session and we'll be having a great time while learning the course.
Okay, okay,
Thank
sir.
you, sir.